The Comedy MX Entertainment Channel spotlights unique videos found nowhere else. Visit World Fairs, see atomic explosions, the golden age of trains, rare comedy features. You can even see the USA in your Chevrolet. It starts with a big capital E that stands for enjoy and never ends. So indulge your passions and binge watch all night.
Oh, little Joe, can't you load no faster than that?
Can I load it any faster? Why don't you try pitching? Let me stack for a while.
You must be forgetting. I did the loading this morning, you did the stacking. Now it's your turn to load a while.
No, I ain't forgetting. I'm just complaining.
Now I ask you, do you ever see two guys work so hard and accomplish so little?
I'll have to admit they're a bit on the slow side, Adam. But then they're pretty puny. Especially the one on top the wagon.
Yeah. Well, what are you doing?
Oh, I thought I'd give him a hand.
Well, we're going to make that dance in Virginia City. We don't have much time.
Won't take but a few minutes.
Well, as long as you're such a fool for work, Dave, be my guest. Oh, hey, ain't that shirt you sent all the way to St. Louis for?
Yeah?
It's pretty bad shape now.
Well, I can send for another.
Come on, we better get the rest of this hay loaded before your paw skins us alive.
And he can sure do it, too.
Hey, Walker. You stand right where you are, Walker. Oh! Drop your gun, Doc.
I don't know who you are, mister, but you're gonna go home in a box.
I'm a United States Marshal, and this is my prisoner.
What'd Dave do?
You got the wrong man, mister.
Now, hold it. I'll kill the first man that tries to interfere.
Dave didn't have a chance, Pa. Marshal clubbed him before he knew what was happening.
I'll have a look at your credentials, Marshal, if you don't mind. A tin star and a shotgun won't get you off the Ponderosa alive. I said your credentials. United States Marshal Emmett Dowd, Los Angeles, Office of Southwest Territory. And was it necessary to half kill the boy, Marshal?
He had a pitchfork. I don't take any chances.
Dave's the one who didn't have a chance, Marshal.
Marshal, Dave Walker has been working for me for almost a year now. In all that time, I've never known him to commit an act of violence of any sort.
If you have any complaints, you can lodge them with my superiors.
Oh, I'll do that. You can count on it.
In the meantime, you tell your boys to step aside. I'm going to take my prisoner into Virginia City.
On what charge?
Murder. Let's go.
You have to treat him so roughly.
Cartwright, I'll handle my prisoner in my own way.
Now, look, he's not an animal. Treat him with some consideration.
Mr. Cartwright, it's a federal offense, punishable by fine or imprisonment or both, to interfere with the United States Marshal in the execution of his duties. Now, you step aside.
Don't you fellas think you'd better get dressed if you're going to make that dance?
After what happened to Davy, I don't feel much like dancing, Pa.
Me neither, Paul. Paul, do you really believe what that feller had to say about Dave being guilty of murder?
You know, the question of Dave's innocence or guilt still has to be proved at a trial.
Well, that is if he gets one. Dowd acted as though he's already been convicted.
Yeah. Ain't there some way we can stop him, Paul?
Us. He's the United States Marshal. His orders are to take Dave back to Los Angeles to stand trial.
Well, maybe some of Dave's friends got together. We could change all that.
Now, Joe, whatever we think of Dowd as a man, he still represents the law. Must be a better way to help Dave.
We're listening.
Well, we can ride into town tomorrow morning, for one thing. Talk to Dowd. The stage for Southern California doesn't leave till noon.
Yeah, but how can we help him?
I don't know. I do have a lawyer friend in Los Angeles I'd like to telegraph a message to.
Yeah, I'd like to buy old Dave a shirt, too. Replace that when he tore up helping us load the hay.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea, Hoss. Well, 3 of us will leave in the morning, then.
3 of who?
Well, Hoss, Adam, and myself.
No, what about me?
I think you'd better stay here, Joe. Somebody has to get the rest of the hay in.
That'll keep him busy till spring, Paul.
Well, this country's growing up, Pa. It wasn't always you could send $1,000 flying through the air from here to Los Angeles.
Well, at least it'll provide Dave with the kind of help he'll need.
Paul, I'm getting just about ready to kill a man, Paul.
Oh, what now?
Well, I just took that new shirt over to Dave, and you ought to see what that marshal's done to him.
What about the sheriff? Didn't he try to stop him?
No, he's up at Pyramid Lake or someplace. Ain't nobody over there but that deputy, and Dowd just shoved him aside.
We better get over to that jail, see what we can do. Dave. Let me see your face, boy. Dan, how did this happen?
Dowd brought the boy in last night and then demanded a cell. I couldn't refuse to cooperate with the U.S. Marshal, Ben.
He did this to Dave.
Well, I didn't see it happen. Curly had the night duty. He said Dowd came back to check the boy's chains.
Paul, I'm gonna kill him.
No, that wouldn't help matters. Now, Dave, did you give him any provocation?
Do you think he needed any, Mr. Cartwright?
But why? He didn't offer any resistance. Why would he want to do this to you?
Maybe because he's just that kind of man, Mr. Cartwright.
Yeah, I guess that's so.
Dave, Paul's wired $1,000 to a lawyer friend in Los Angeles. Make sure you get a fair trial.
Adam, you think Dowd's gonna let me reach Los Angeles alive?
David, did you commit this murder?
Mr. Cartwright, I don't even know what Dowd is talking about.
All right, Dave. We believe you. Where's the marshal now, Dan?
He's over at the hotel packing his bags. The stage leaves in 20 minutes.
Well, that'll give us enough time. Come on, boys.
Hoss? Thanks for the shirt. Nicest one I ever had.
That's all right, Dave.
Mr. Cartwright, thanks for everything you've done for me, but don't bother trying to talk to Marshal Dowd. It won't do any good.
Well.
Good morning. Will you please see that our bags are taken out to the stage?
You talking about the stage at Los Angeles?
Yes, sir. I think that is the name of the little village. You see, my daughter and I are not so familiar with this part of your country.
But we like it very much. It's so very beautiful. Isn't it, Father?
Indeed, my child, it is. And we are looking forward to the rest of our journey.
There's nothing between here and Los Angeles but 500 miles of dry, hot desert.
But your desert is most remarkable. We have never seen anything to match its rugged splendor.
You'd better wait for the next stage. We aren't taking any passengers on this one.
No, no, we cannot wait. You see, we have made arrangements already at Los Angeles. There will be a sailing vessel waiting for us on which we have reservations.
I said no passengers.
Hello, Marshal.
Hello, Cartwright. You're blocking the door.
Yes, I know. We've just seen what you did to Dave Walker.
He resisted my efforts to shackle him.
Was there any need to chain him to that bed?
Just the need to make sure he didn't escape from that fleabag jail.
What about his face? What'd you hit him with?
Cartwright. Get out of my way.
Mister, if you weren't a United States Marshal...
The point is, I am.
Let him out, Adam.
Excuse me, gentlemen. May I present myself? My name is Dr. Anton Strasser. This is my daughter, Andrea.
Yeah? Well, I'm Ben Cartwright. These are my sons.
Very pleased to meet you, gentlemen. Could you kindly tell me, is there some danger in our taking this particular stage?
Danger? No, there's no danger. It might prove to be a bit unpleasant for you and your daughter.
Unpleasant? How do you mean?
Well, Doctor, you see, they're taking a young man in chains on that stage to Los Angeles.
In chains? But why? Is he a criminal?
No, ma'am, he's not a criminal. But it might be safer if you did take the stage next week.
But, Father, surely he cannot prevent us from taking the stage.
Easy, easy, my child. Sir, I don't understand. This gentleman who carries a gun, is he an officer of the law?
Well, he's an officer of the law, all right, but you must remember, Doctor, we're a young and rough country.
Well, we have seen men like this who carry guns and abuse their power. It happens everywhere, even in my native Vienna.
But, Father, we've got to get on that stage if we're going to make our connections.
We'll see what can be done. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Alles wird in Ordnung sein.
Stand away, mister. He doesn't need any help. On your feet, Walker. I said get up.
Once before, I've seen that kind of lawman.
How do you mean that, Dan?
That Dowd doesn't intend for Dave to get to Los Angeles alive.
Look, Dan, isn't there someone you can send along to look out for the boy?
I'd go myself, but we're 2 men short as it is. We couldn't spare anybody till the sheriff gets back from Pyramid Lake.
Think I ought to go along, Pa?
Adam, this isn't really our affair.
Isn't it? Why'd you wire $1,000 to the lawyer in Los Angeles?
I'll make sure the boy gets a fair trial.
Well, maybe that's why I want to go along. See that he lasts long enough to get a fair trial.
Paul, maybe you ought to send me along, too.
Charlie, have you any empty seats?
As far as I know, we're not carrying anything but the marshal and his prisoner.
Say, driver, please take our luggage aboard. My daughter and I will travel with you.
I told you at the hotel. There'll be no other passengers on this trip.
Sir, you have no right to do this. This is a public vehicle.
Tell your father to step out of the way, miss. I don't want to hurt him.
But my father isn't well. And we must make that boat connection.
I'm sorry, miss.
But we haven't any weapons. Surely we can't endanger you and your prisoner.
Marshal, are you commandeering this stage?
I said there'd be no passengers on this trip.
Well, you know you can't take over a public carrier, Marshal Dowd.
It's for their own safety. I can't be responsible for what might happen on this trip.
Well, you can just not bother yourself about that anymore, mister. Me and my brother here are going to go along with you to make sure nothing peculiar does happen.
That's right, Marshal. If you've any objections, you can telegraph your superiors for instructions.
All right. Hand your guns to the driver.
Hand up your guns, boys. You won't need them for what you have to do.
Lock them up. Yours too. I'll take the key.
Look out.
It's all right, Marshal. You just keep your seat. I'd just soon ride up there with Charlie anyhow.
Get up there, Lucius. Take them hips, Maybell.
Forgetting my manners, Miss Strasser. You and your father met the gentleman with the shotgun, United States Deputy Marshal Emmett Dowd. But as for the prisoner, well, I am not certain whether or not the law permits us to recognize him. Perhaps you could advise us, Marshal.
We have a long journey, Mr. Cartwright. Let's not make it more difficult than is necessary.
Well, looking at your prisoner, I would say you're making it a lot more difficult than is necessary.
Since you're so well armed, Marshal, why is it necessary that your prisoner remain chained?
Does it disturb you to see a murderer in chains?
I don't go to see any man in chains.
Particularly an innocent one.
Walker's guilt will be established when we reach Los Angeles.
Charlie, why don't you try missing some of them juggos every once in a while?
There's a long ride ahead of us, Adam. There's no sense in your getting redneck because of me. I'm finished.
You can't say that. If you're innocent, you can't even think it. You mustn't submit to what he stands for.
Get out of here!
These chains don't encourage a man to fight back, miss.
Yeah, baby.
Charlie, I sure am going to be happy to get my britches off of this torture rack.
Well, we'll be stopping to water the horse in another mile or so. Get up there, Lucy. Howdy.
Howdy.
10 minutes, folks. You can get out and stretch if you don't mind the snakes.
Well, sure, I'm glad you folks came by.
What's wrong, mister?
Oh, my horse lost a shoe ways back.
That's bad luck. Where are you headed?
West?
Which shoe is it?
Oh, it's that left front foot.
Yeah, it ain't no shoe, mister. You ain't going very far from that old pony. He's got a bad stone bruise.
Well, maybe you got room for an extra passenger. I got the fare.
Hold it.
What's your name, mister?
Cutler? Herd Cutler.
Where you from?
Up north?
I asked you a question, mister. Answer it.
Well, that's a good enough answer. Up north. Ranch near the Truckee River.
I'm headed for Los Angeles.
All the way across the desert with that one canteen?
Well, I figured I'd get me another one at the next stage station. Marshal? Well, how about it, driver? You got room for me topside?
Yeah, I guess so.
We can't just leave him stranded out here. It's better than a week till another stage comes by.
Didn't I see you in Virginia City?
Oh, I don't reckon so, Marshal. Nearest I ever got to a silver mine was Laredo. The land jobber sold me and my partner a salted claim.
Did you get back at him?
No, hanging party got to him first. Well, how about it, Marshal? Be grateful to you if you let me ride to the next stage station. I can have my horse shod and be on my way.
I'll let the driver keep your gun.
The marshal's taking all our guns. He's afraid one of us might lose his head. Thank you, miss.
Well, there she is.
Or what is it?
The beautiful state of California.
That godforsaken desert's California?
You ain't never been to California before?
Yeah, I've been to California. I've been to San Francisco lots of times, Charlie, but it sure didn't look nothing like that.
Well, this is Southern California. Stationed right beyond those hills there.
Southern California, huh?
Yep.
I can tell you one thing, Charlie. It sure ain't gonna ever amount to much.
Yeah.
Hi, Charlie.
Hi.
You're about a half hour late. You run into trouble along the way?
Nope, not on the way, Michael, you old highbinder. I brung it with me. Just so's you wouldn't be losing out on your share of the misery.
Only 6 for supper, Charlie?
Only 6 and 1 in change. But I don't reckon he'll be having much of an appetite. He's on his way to be hanged.
Do tell. Well, a young one, huh? I bet you some gal's gonna be crying her eyes out. Maybe more than one gal, eh, Sonny?
I'd like to think so, old-timer.
What are they gonna hang you for, horse thieving or card sharping?
For twisting the arm off a nosy old desert rat.
Oh, say, I like this boy, Marshal. Yes, sirree. Say, are you plumb set on hanging him?
I suppose you're the station master.
Yeah, me. That's me, Micah Bailey. Now, the gents will bed down in the dining room, and the ladies in the parlor.
Don't you have any private accommodations?
What's he talking about?
Well, I reckon what he means, Mike, is that he wants a private room.
I'll tell you, mister, the only thing private out here is the hole that a man gets buried in. And even that's liable to be stolen out from under him by thieving Apaches. Breakfast at daybreak, supper at sundown. If you're late, you don't eat.
Everybody hold it just a minute. Old man, do these doors lock?
Yep.
I'll give these back to you before we leave in the morning. Dr. Strasser, you and your daughter will occupy this room tonight.
Thank you, Marshal.
Hey, Bub, you just wait a minute. That's the station master's quarters.
Cartwright, you and your brother, Cutler, and the driver will occupy the parlor. My prisoner and I'll take the dining room.
Well, ain't you forgetting about me?
Sleep in the kitchen.
He's being thoughtful again, as usual, Micah.
Ain't you leaning kind of heavy on that tin star, Marshal? Now, you listen to me. I'm station master here. Me, Micah Bailey. I'll say who goes where.
Mr. Bailey, it is a federal offense punishable by fine or imprisonment or both to interfere with the United States Marshal in the execution of his duties.
It means he's taking charge, Micah, whether we like it or not.
Oh, put that strong box over by the stove. Mr. Bailey, how many firearms do you have at this station?
Half a dozen rifles locked up in the liquor stores, and this.
Are the keys on here?
Yeah.
Well, until I leave, I will take charge of all firearms.
Mister, this is Apache country. I wouldn't let loose of my shooting iron for any man. Especially a blowed-up tin star.
Bailey! That's an order, old man.
Can he do this to me?
Oh, dadgummit, Mike, I reckon he thinks he can. You better go ahead and do like he tells you. For the time being, anyhow. Well, that ought to get you across the desert, Cutler, but I'd sure be careful of that stone bruise if I was you.
Well, thanks a lot, Hoss.
You fellas want supper, you better rustle your shanks. I'm just dishing up beans and side meat.
That sounds mighty lavering to me, Micah. Come on, Adam, let's go.
What kind of beans?
Wild beans. I picked them myself.
Mesquite beans. Yeah, little Joe warned me if I went on a trip with you, I'd be eating cow fodder.
You talk like I rode ahead and ordered them.
Well, if you didn't, how come they're on the menu first night out?
You don't come to think of it, it does sound a little strange, don't it?
Oh, I don't think so. It's sort of like bees and honey. You and cow food just seem to go together.
Yeah.
Here's some more coffee, folks. Yeah.
You haven't touched your food.
First time I ever remember my appetite deserting me, miss.
I can hardly blame you. I wouldn't feel much like eating either.
Andrea, please.
But you must eat. We still have a long journey, haven't we?
Yes, miss. A very long and rough one.
You must eat. It will give you strength.
I'll get by, miss.
When we get to Los Angeles, perhaps my father and I can notify your family.
Well, that's thoughtful of you, miss, but there's no one to notify. My ma died when I was no bigger than a pollywog. Never knew my pa. Ma said he was a man with restless feet. I think she loved him more than he was worth.
And you took after your father?
No, miss. I always tried to stay put for as long as I was allowed. Looks now like I'll get my wish. I'll be settling someplace for good.
Well, look, Dave, you're not convicted yet.
You're going to be back on the Ponderosa in no time, don't you worry.
A lot can happen between now and the time I get tried.
Lady, you'll forgive me. I think I'll finish my cigar in the other room.
If the rest of you are through with your meals, I'd be obliged if you'd all go to your rooms.
Is that a request, Marshal?
No, Miss Strasser, that is not a request. Good night.
Andrea, please. Nothing to be gained by arguing with authority.
But, Father...
Come along, child. We have a long journey tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. night, Dave.
I'll be all right, Adam. Don't lose no sleep over me.
Night, Dave.
Are you afraid I'll sneak out in this harness, Marshal? Or that one of them will jump you while you're asleep? Adam Cartwright, for instance, or the station master? How long has it been since you slept, Marshal?
Almost a year.
Has it really been that long? I can't imagine what keeps you going. I'm not much at carrying a tune, Marshal, but I can tell you what that song's about. It's about a girl named Corey and the way she died.
You shut your filthy mouth, you hear me? You shut your filthy mouth.
Sleep with you rolling and tossing. Well, dadburn it, I can't help it. This confounded couch is plumb alive. Every time I get in another position, it sprouts another hair. Look at that. Cutler's gone.
I didn't hear him get out.
Neither did I.
Cutler, come on out.
murdered him?
He tried to kill me. He was Walker's accomplice. We knew he was hiding out near Virginia City.
I wouldn't count on catching that boat, Dr. Strasser.
Why?
We lost the horses. Well, my brother and the others are trying to find him. How's he?
His collarbone is shattered, several ribs broken, and he may have serious internal injuries.
You just had to kill somebody, didn't you?
He was trying to help Walker escape. I had my eye on him ever since I spotted him in Virginia City.
I never knew suspicion could rot a man's mind. You really believe that, huh?
All right, have it your way. I killed Cutler in cold blood. Are you satisfied?
You want to kill yourself?
Lay back.
All we ever asked of you was to have a little compassion for the prisoner.
Compassion? You mean feel sorry for him?
Well, now, is there anything wrong with that?
He's used this trick before. On Cora.
Cora?
My wife. I killed her with that shotgun.
Well, now, what's that got to do with Walker?
Because he worked his ways on her, too. Before I could get him back to Los Angeles for the murder of a paymaster, she tried to release him. And he deliberately pushed her in my line of fire to save his own rotten skin.
Now we know the reason for the chains and the beatings.
If you believe it, Doctor. It's not going to work, Dodd. You go from brutality to sentiment, and I don't buy it.
Cartwright. Take that.
Well, what's that for?
I'm deputizing you. You take Walker back to Los Angeles.
You mean you want me to take your place?
That's what I mean.
But you can't deputize somebody like this.
Can I? The United States Marshal has the authority to deputize any citizen.
And if I refuse?
You can't refuse. It's your duty to take that badge. And you are bound by law to accept and carry out any reasonable commission.
Well, how's Mr. Dodd? I hear he almost got run over by some horses.
He was trampled, almost killed.
Oh, now ain't that too bad? And to such a nice fella, too.
Dave, you have anything to do with it?
You hear that, miss? Adam, you don't mean that, do you?
Look, I'm asking if you had anything to do with the attempt to kill Dowd.
Why, Adam? Why are you asking me that?
Because he gave me this, his badge of office.
We'll give it back to him. It's his, not yours.
I can't do it. It's mine now. He deputized me to act in his place.
He did what?
Dave, I'm a deputy United States Marshal now.
Sure, and I'm Billy the Kid or Jackass Sam. Look at him. I'm the same man I was an hour ago. I'm Dave Walker. I'm your friend.
I know that, Dave.
Well, for a minute there, you had me worried. You started to sound almost like the Marshal himself. This badge is mine. I can't give it back. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I guess it was.
Well, now that's settled, Adam. Well, what about these shackles?
Well, what about him?
Well, I want them off. Like you said, Adam, I'm not an animal. Why should I be chained like one? You did say that, didn't you, Adam?
Yes, I said it.
Well, then take them off. I don't like the idea any better than you do.
I think the Marshal would rather they stayed on.
The Marshal? Who cares about the Marshal? You've seen for yourself what kind of man he is.
I'm one of them.
Where are the others?
Which others you talking about, horses or men?
I mean Mike and Charlie.
Hey, what's the matter with you anyhow?
Nothing's the matter with me. Now, where's Mike and Charlie?
Well, if I know Micah, he's probably fallen in a chug hole someplace. Don't worry, Adam. I'll find him.
You heard him, miss?
Yes, I heard him.
I thought he was my friend.
Oh, I think he is your friend.
Then why doesn't he do something about these shackles? It's up to him now, nobody else.
Perhaps he'll do it in the morning. Perhaps all he wants is wait until morning.
Why? Why would he want to wait until morning?
Oh, I don't know, David. I don't know.
You know something? You called me David.
Yes, I'm dreadfully sorry. I didn't mean to.
Why not? It's my name, isn't it?
Yes, it's your name.
Sure it is. David. I like the way you say it. Say it again.
What?
My name. Go on, say it again.
David?
Yeah, David. Only you say it better. You say it better than I've ever heard it before in my life. You're not going anyplace. Sit down. That's better. Andrea. That's your name, isn't it?
Yes?
Andrea Strasser.
It isn't true what the marshal said, is it?
Of course not. You don't believe that, do you?
No, I don't believe that.
I'm innocent, Andrea. I swear I'm innocent.
I know. I know that.
Andrea?
Yes, David.
These chains. I can't stand to be in them any longer.
I know, but you'll have to wait until morning.
No. No, we don't have to wait until morning.
What can we do?
The marshal, he's got the keys. You can get them, and he won't be able to stop you.
But what about Mr. Cartwright?
Well, you heard him. He's pinned on that star. He's just like the marshal now.
Oh, I don't believe that.
All right, I should have known better. I guess a back fence stray like me doesn't have the right to ask people for help.
I'll help you, David. I'll do anything you ask.
You know, I was right. The way you say David, I've never heard a sound as beautiful as that in all my life.
How is he, Father?
He's asleep now. Fortunately, I had some pills in my case. Poor man, he must be in terrible pain.
Strange, isn't it, how one can feel sorry even for a man like him?
We are in a strange land, my child. Yet it isn't so strange. A man is a man, and unfortunately a doctor is also a doctor. And so he helps, whether he wants to or not.
Yes, Father, and so he helps.
Let's go back to bed.
How about the marshal?
Him? He won't move an eyelid until morning.
Then you go to bed, Father.
How about you?
I'm not very sleepy. I'll be in soon.
Good night, my child.
Good night, Father.
You got them?
Yes.
Here. That's it. Out here. That's right. Give me. Andrea, I'll never be able to thank you enough.
David, you're free.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm free until the next time I run into Marshal Dowd.
David, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna give the Marshal a taste of his own medicine.
Oh, no, David. No, you mustn't.
Mustn't I? I killed his wife, didn't I? You think you'll ever be able to forget that?
No!
Hold it right there, Dave.
You shoot me, Cartwright, you'll have to kill her first.
Is that the way it happened to the Marshal's wife? No, I'm not gonna shoot you, Dave.
That's right, I forgot. The Marshal put all the guns in the strong box. You don't have anything, Cartwright.
You're wrong, Davy.
You still don't have nothing. All right, Cartwright.
Cartwright, that's enough. Hit him once more and I'll kill you.
What, you worried about him?
Yeah. He's got a trial to go to.
If we hadn't been along, you'd have killed him long before he ever got there.
Maybe. For almost a year now, I've lived for nothing else. But you just made me realize what I was turning into.
Get in.
Reckon you're going to be mighty happy to get aboard that ship, aren't you, ma'am?
I'm not certain I will, Horse.
After what you've been through?
You Americans have a way of making things happen so quickly. In Europe, it sometimes takes a generation to put things right.
Well, ma'am, I reckon you could sort of chalk it up to our weather.
Weather?
Yes'm. You see, we got so dang much weather out here and so that burned much land we got to whip that, well, we just ain't got time to be putting things straight with each other.
You're a born philosopher, Horse.
Me? What's she mean by that?
She means that if you was any smarter, you'd still be the second dumbest man in creation. And you're looking at the first.
It's a toss-up. Let's get going.
Charlie, get him out of my station before anything else happens.
top price for our beef, beautiful San Francisco weather. What more could we ask?
Well, a few days out of the saddle.
By golly, we'll have that, too. Listen, as a change from Hop Sink's chuck wagon, I'm throwing a little supper party tonight. Oysters, steak, champagne, the works. After that, 5 days for all of us in San Francisco with nothing to do but have a good time.
Oh, that's what I've been waiting to hear you say.
What's the matter, Johnny?
Mr. Cartwright, I think you made a mistake here. I got too much pay.
No, you haven't. You and Ham both deserve a bonus. Now, you're going to have a good time, but remember, this is not the Ponderosa, it's San Francisco, so be careful.
Thanks, boss, but don't worry about us. After riding trail with these boys of yours, this town is going to seem downright tame.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Come on, Ham.
Don't be late for supper. Come on, boys. Well, with hands like Johnny and Ham, we won't have any trouble running the Ponderosa. Come on, let's get back to the hotel.
Let's have some fun.
Ham, I'm beginning to like this San Francisco town. You know something? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna buy that sweet wife of mine a whole bolt of Chinese silk.
Silk? You say silk?
I said silk. Nothing too good for that sweet wife of mine.
Gentlemen, I just happened to overhear. Now, as you see by my card, I'm a silk merchant, and I just happen to have a brand new shipment from the Orient. It's the home of the silkworm. Now, if you'll follow me to my establishment...
Why, sure, neighbor.
Yes, gentlemen, right back here. I have my shop because it's wholesale. Right this way, gentlemen. I hope Shanghai Pete takes them off my hands. That ship sails for Hong Kong at midnight. Take them in, boys.
That's very strange. Johnny and Ham should be here by now.
Worry about them two, Paul. They'll be here. They ain't gonna turn down free oysters and champagne, I'll guarantee you.
He's right, Pop. Hey, you know, I feel kind of guilty.
Oh? Why?
Well, here we are. Having ourselves a big time while Adam's home working himself to death.
Oh?
Yeah, doggone it, I do too, Paul.
Really? Well, it's too bad you boys didn't think about that before you rigged those straws you drew to see who'd come on this trip.
Hey, Paul. What about Hop Sing? Is he gonna come along?
Oh, I doubt that very much. He's got 100 relatives in town he wants to visit.
We sure will help Johnny hurry up and get back. After supper, me and little Joe sort of figured we'd go over one of them places where they got them good-looking waiter gals.
Yeah, now you're talking, brother.
Now you're talking, brother. If you think I'm going to let you and little Joe wander around the Barbary coast at night alone, you've got yourself another thing coming. This is San Francisco. It's a big city, and it's a wild city.
Yeah, but, Paul, you let Hamp and Johnny go.
Well, you're not Hamp and Johnny. Haven't you ever heard of Shanghaiing?
Yeah, it's got something to do with sailors, doesn't it?
You know there isn't a ship in this harbor that isn't short of sailors. You could be slugged over the head and on your way to Singapore before you ever knew what happened.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Oh.
No, really, there's a lot of good-looking women in Singapore.
In Singapore, but not on board a ship. And how'd you like to eat nothing more than sour salt pork for more than a year?
Oh, I wouldn't like that.
No, I guess not. Well, you boys take care of yourselves. This is San Francisco. It isn't the Ponderosa.
There's Hamp and Johnny now.
It's about time.
I'm saying, I thought you were with your relatives.
Something wrong, Hop Sing?
Not know for sure.
Number 3 cousin, he see 2 cowboy go in alley. Hit on head, not come out. Cousin, come quick, tell Hop Sing. Think maybe it's Mr. Hemp and Mr. Johnny.
Hemp and Johnny?
Wait a minute. What makes you think it might be Hemp and Johnny?
They not in hotel room.
Well, maybe Horse and I ought to check on it.
I think we'll all check it.
Probably just over in some saloon having themselves a good time.
Four more before midnight if you want to get paid. That'll be all, boys. Cowboys. What can I do to make them look more like sailors?
Oh, Hoss. Any luck?
Not a bit, Paul.
Any luck?
Nothing.
Well, I'm going to the police.
Hey, listen, you mind if Horse and I have a look around some more?
Well, I guess it doesn't take 4 of us to talk to a policeman. Just a moment now. Remember, this is not the Ponderosa, so you two stay out of trouble. Do you understand?
Oh, Pa, you know us better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Are you the man in charge here?
What can I do for you?
My name is Cartwright, Ben Cartwright. I just drove a herd of cattle across the Sierra.
Well, San Francisco can certainly use a decent beefsteak.
Sergeant, I didn't come here to discuss beefsteaks. 2 of my top hands have disappeared.
Well, it does happen.
Well, is this or isn't it the San Francisco Police Department?
It's exactly that.
Well, I just told you, 2 of my top hands have disappeared, and I've come here for help.
And I suppose you expect me to drop everything and go find them, hmm?
Oh, yes, that's exactly it.
Mr. Cartwright, men are always disappearing in this city.
And you do nothing to try to find out what happened to them?
Do you realize how many policemen it would take to keep an eye on every Shanghai hideout on the Barbary coast?
Well, Sergeant, I'm not interested in how many men it would take. I came here for help.
Mr. Cartwright, this is a seaport. Ships come here from all over the world. Ships need sailors.
Oh, sailors, yes, but not cowboys.
Oh, you'd be surprised how many cowboys become sailors. Now, I suggest that you do as all the ship captains do when they find themselves short-handed. Set out and find yourself a new crew.
Do you sit here and condone the buying and selling of human beings?
I don't condone it, but I don't have enough men to do anything about it, so I accept it as an unfortunate fact. Now, please, if you'll excuse me.
All right, Sergeant. You mark my words. I'm going to find those 2 men of mine, with or without your help.
All right, you go right ahead. But I warn you, look out.
Hey, we're getting pretty close to that waterfront, ain't we?
Figure it out. If you were going to Shanghai somebody and put them on a ship, where would you take them? Out on the desert?
What do you keep talking about Shanghai and for another, Joe? You know as well as I do that Hemp and Johnny are right around here in some of these little joints. The only thing is these bartenders don't seem to want to give out much information, do they?
That's because they're all in cahoots.
Oh, quit worrying. Come on.
Hey, now, wait a minute. Look, we're not going to get anywhere this way. Boss, why don't you cover that side of the street? I'll take this side. Hop Sing, go check with your cousins, see if they've seen anything.
Not think it could you boys be here on Barbary coast.
You're as bad as Paul, Hop Sing. Now, I've heard tell a man can have himself a lot of fun down there on this Barbary coast.
Yeah, well, you know, brother, I've heard the same thing.
Get going.
I'm looking for a couple of friends of mine. I thought they might have come in here, 2 cowboys.
Sonny, we serve out drinks here, not information.
Yeah, well, I just
And
thought...
you look too young to drink, so, why don't you get out of here?
Hey, wait a minute, all it... Thank you.
Too many questions being asked around here. I think I better tell Mr. Pernell.
Oh, Mr. Cartwright.
Yes, Mr. Cartwright. Where's Hoss and Little Joe?
They go Barbary Coast. What? Not good. On Barbary Coast, hit, slice, cut, push. Very dangerous. The Shanghai.
Little Joe didn't have enough sense to know that. Hoss should have. Why didn't you tell him?
I tell him. He say look like fun.
Look like fun. Better find those two before they get into some real trouble. Barbary Coast.
Hobson, go find cousin.
Joseph! Well, at least I found one of you. Now where's your brother?
Oh, he's looking for Hamp and Johnny.
Didn't I tell you two to stay together?
Well, we thought it would go faster this way.
Isn't that Hoss? Hoss, didn't I tell you to stay out of trouble?
Oh, I ain't no trouble. This here's Busthead Brannigan. He's a box fight champion of the whole Barbary Coast. Come on, Mr. Busthead, wake up.
Hey, you mean you did this for money?
Sure. I told you it's gonna be fun down on this Barbary Coast, little Joe. Look there, more than $100. Makes me madder than mischief to think about how much talent I done wasted for free. Come on, Mr. Busthead, wake up. Come on. Come on. Mr. Busthead, like I told you, I don't want your championship. It was nice of you to offer to help us. Come on. Mr. Busthead, I want you to meet my pa. Busthead Brannigan, this is my pa.
No, over here.
Mr. Busthead. Champion. Boy, he's a real fine fella.
Well, champ, have you any conceivable idea of the seriousness of the situation we're in?
Serious? Paul, you still think Johnny and Hamp are in trouble?
I don't think it, I know it.
Hey, you mean Shanghai?
Yes, I mean Shanghai.
Dad, burn it, let's tear this dang town apart, then.
We'll do no such thing. We're not going to invite trouble unless it's forced on us. And that goes for you two particularly.
Well, just don't stand there making a spectacle of yourself. Go get your clothes on.
Put your shirt on.
Mr. Busthead, it's a real pleasure meeting you.
You'll be a great champion.
Mr. Hoss. Mr. Hoss, number 3 cousin, he like to talk to you.
何先生，我好歡喜有機會嚟見你，你真係強壯啊！我一世未見到人有你咁強壯㗎。
Ain't it something, old Hop Sing's relatives being so dang glad to meet me?
Why not? He win $100 on fight. You all be careful.
Huh?
Cousin say everybody on Barbary Coast talk about man and 2 sons. Say they ask too many questions.
Everybody's in cahoots. I don't see how we're ever going to find out anything.
Well, we won't find out anything if the three of us keep barging in like we're going to tear the place apart.
Yeah, we used to do it that way.
Well, it won't work now. Now, you two boys, you get back to the hotel and you stay there and don't move until you hear from me. I'm going to see what I can find out alone.
Hey, Paul, don't you think we want to go along with you?
No, I don't. If I find out anything, I'll send Hop Sing for you.
Paul, you stay out of trouble, you hear?
You make sure you listen to your own advice, young man. You too. Come on, Hop Sing.
嚟啊！嚟啊！
Sure hope Pa knows what he's doing.
Don't you worry about Paul. He knows what he's done.
here. Well, fine-looking place you have here.
Thank you. We try to keep it up.
Yeah. If it isn't too much bother, could you make me a brandy squash, please?
No bother at all. That's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
What?
Thank you. Now, there's a surprise.
What's the matter? Something wrong?
Wrong? Why, sir, this is the finest brandy squash I've ever tasted in my life. And I've tasted them all the way from New York to Chicago to New Orleans.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
It's an art. Barton, it's an art. Not many men have the talent for it. Did you ever work in New Orleans?
No, can't say as I have.
Oh, too bad. Why, a man with your talent could demand any wager you ask for. Yes, sir. Fine profession, bartending. And you meet a mighty lot of interesting people.
All kinds, no doubt about it.
Yes, I can imagine. I wager that with drinks like this, practically everybody in town drops in here one time or another.
Well, we get our share.
I have two friends in town I just gotta bring in here and show them what a good drink really tastes like. Say, I wonder if they've been in here already.
Well, I got a pretty good memory for faces.
A couple of cowboys. They work up on a ranch in the Sierras. Drove a herd of cattle into town.
Let's see now. You say, I want to get this straight. You say that there were two of them.
That's right. Those two are inseparable. Two of the best hands they ever had.
Well, hello. My name is Alexander Pendleton. I'm the proprietor of this establishment. I don't believe I've had the pleasure of seeing you in here before.
No, I think not. My name's Ben Cartwright. I've just been complimenting your bartender on the excellence of his drinks.
Well, that's very kind of you. Why don't we go down to the end of the bar? It'll be quieter, more comfortable.
All right.
Over in the corner's better.
Thanks. You say your name is Pendleton?
Yes, Alexander Pendleton. Would you care for another drink?
Well, thank you.
Bartender?
Yes, sir. A real squash this time.
For the road.
Boss, are you sure you know what you're doing? Haven't you had enough trouble with those two cowboys you bought from Cartwright Joe? That's their boss. You just dropped through the floor.
I need 3 more men to fill out Captain Shark's crew. And I don't prefer to buy them from Cartwright Joe. And if you're thinking of asking for a raise, don't. The man was lying to you. You make the worst drinks in town.
Boss, I'm getting worried. They've been going over an hour.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Little Joe. If we don't hear from Hop Sing or Paul One the next 15 minutes, I'm just about ready to go down there and tear this dang Barbary coast apart board for board. Where's Paul?
Not sure.
What do you mean you're not sure?
Where'd you leave him?
Mr. Cartwright tell Hop Sing wait. Hop Sing wait a long time. Mr. Cartwright no come back. Hop Sing worry. Come see you boy.
Hop Sing, you shouldn't ought to done that. Paul comes out of there and you ain't there. What's he gonna do?
Number 5 cousin wait.
Well, Joe, you don't reckon anything's wrong with Paul?
Pa, don't worry. He can take care of himself.
Mr. Cartwright.
Ham? Johnny, you boys all right?
Yeah, all right.
How did they get you in here?
You'd never believe it. After me telling the boys to stay out of trouble.
I know what you mean.
If Johnny hadn't wanted to buy that silk for his wife, we wouldn't be in this mess.
Well, never mind about that now, Ham. The point is, how can we get out of this mess?
There's nothing we can do. You raise a fuss, they come in and beat you over the head.
I've got some fine sailors for you, Captain.
Excellent, excellent.
It sounds like that Mr. Pendleton.
Well, you promised me 6. There are only 3.
You've got to give me time.
I need those men. My ship sails at midnight.
Mr. Pendleton.
Excuse me.
I want to make a deal with you.
A deal, Mr. Cartwright?
I don't know what you expect to get for us, but whatever it is, I'll pay you twice that amount if you let us out of here.
Twice?
Fair enough?
Oh, no, you don't. A contract is a contract. You agreed to give me 6 men.
So I did. An interesting offer, Mr. Cartwright, but due to circumstances beyond my control...
3 times the going price.
A contract is a contract if you want my business in the future.
As you say, a contract is a contract.
Good. The one who's talking, he isn't drunk.
Or perhaps he just holds his liquor well.
You know my principles.
Don't want him, huh?
The 2 sailors, yes. The sober one, no. Unless you get me 4 more men within the hour, I'll take my business to Cut Rate Joe.
All right, boys, come get them.
Mr. Cartwright, I feel pretty low down about all this.
Oh, John, it's my fault for not keeping us all together.
All right, come on, let's go.
Don't do it, Mr. Cartwright. You'll just be getting a beating for nothing.
Believe me, it's best.
All right, come on.
Look, boys, we'll get out of this somehow. My boys are bound to be looking for me now.
No, not that one. The captain turned him down cold.
Come on, let's go.
Have any luck?
Not a dud burn bit.
Plus, I'm getting worried.
Yeah, me too. I'm getting just about ready to tear this dad blame town apart. Come on, little Joe.
I brought you something to eat.
Well, I'm not hungry.
Oh, well, you better be. You know, Shanghai Pete is pretty mad about not being able to sell you.
The Shanghai Pete, is that what that Mr. Pendleton calls himself?
Oh, well, you got it wrong end, too. Shanghai Pete sometimes calls himself Mr. Pendleton.
Mr. Pendleton.
You better eat this. It's all right. It ain't got no knockout drops in it. You're real quality, ain't you?
What?
Oh, well, I mean is, we don't get your kind in here often. Mostly drunks, sailors and farmers and cowboys like them other 2.
Well, I'll have you know that them other two the finest men I've ever known. Just because they happen to go out in a little celebration.
It wasn't a little one. It was a real good one. Oh, I don't know why men have to act up so. It just gets them in trouble. I wish someday I'd find just one man who wasn't always wanting to get into trouble. Oh, well.
Wait a minute. Don't go.
What? Why not?
Sit down. What's your name?
Kathleen.
Kathleen. Well, that's a right pretty name.
I think so. Your name is Ben Cartwright, ain't it?
Kathleen, tell me, what's a nice girl like you doing in a place like this?
Ain't that funny? So many men have asked me the same question. And I've given it a lot of thought. And I think the reason is I like the money.
Well,
You're certainly an honest sort.
Do you think so, really?
Oh, yeah. Why are you surprised?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes, you know, you can't just trust everybody.
Well, Kathleen, I trust you.
Oh, I was sort of hoping you would.
Kathleen, now tell me, if this Shanghai Pete or Mr. Pendleton or whatever his name is, if he sells me, do you get anything out of it?
No, I don't. Not a penny.
Well, wouldn't you like to?
Oh, yes, I would. I've been asking to be put on commission.
Kathleen, if you help me out of here...
Mercy, no.
Well, I have the money.
Well, I don't see how you could. Wait, the men that brought you in here picked your pocket first.
I mean, I don't have it with me, but I own a ranch. I can get all the money I want without any trouble.
How much?
If you help me get out of here and tell me where I can find the other two men, $500.
$500?
$500.
You wouldn't back out.
Oh, I give you my word, the money's at my hotel. If you help me get out of here, you get the $500.
You know something, Mr. Cartwright?
What?
I was thinking about getting you out of here the minute I came in.
You'll help me then, Kathleen.
I'll be back in a little while.
God burn it, Joe, this ain't no good.
I know.
Ain't getting us no place.
Look, you go on down the corner. See if Hop Sing knows anything new. If he doesn't come on back, and the two of us will take this place apart.
That's what we should have done in the first place. My temper's on a short fuse, Joe. I can just feel it.
Well, you're not alone, brother. Hurry up.
Hop Sing, you heard anything new?
It's very bad news.
What do you mean?
Number 5 cousin, he see Mr. Ben go in saloon. No see Mr. Ben come out.
What saloon?
That one, on other corner.
Hop Sing, are you right sure?
Very sure. Have more bad news. Number 6 cousin, he work on dock. He say ship short-handed, no can sail. Ship now ready. Hop Sing think maybe Mr. Johnny, Mr. Hemp, no longer cowboy. Is sailor man now. Hop Sing think maybe Mr. Ben sailor man too. Mr. Hoss, where you go?
I'm going over that Y-to-B saloon.
You better wait for little Joe. You only one man.
Yeah, well, that ain't but one saloon, is it? Mister, I want me some information. I want it straight, and I want it quick. Now, mister, you better get to talking. Otherwise, I'm gonna twist your diesel pipe out. My pa was seen coming into this saloon, and he wasn't seen coming out. Now, where is he? You two better just stand right where you are. Otherwise, you're gonna be waking up with somebody tapping you in the face with a spade. Now, mister. I'm looking for Ben Cartwright and 2 of my best friends.
Here, what's going on here?
What is this?
Mister, you're gonna find out what it is if I don't get me some information and quick.
Well, now, is this any way to get it? This is a respectable establishment, son. I'm the proprietor, Alexander Pendleton. Have I had the pleasure of seeing you in here before?
Don't make no difference whether you have or not. I want me some answers.
Now, son, please try to calm yourself down. What is it you want?
I want my pa. His name's Ben Cartwright and 2 of his ranch hands.
Then why all the shouting? I talked to Mr. Cartwright just a short time ago. Told him where he could find his men.
Mister, are you telling me the truth?
Now, why would I have any reason to lie to you? Won't you please put that thing away? I have a reputation to maintain here. That's better.
Don't you forget, I can draw it out again right quick.
Laddie Buck, I'm only trying to help you. Do you want to hear about your father or not?
I reckon I did get a little too excited. Dad burn it, I've been worried plumb sick.
Well, now, why don't you try to calm yourself down? Everything's all right. Here. Why don't we come down here at the end of the bar? Let's play it. Relax. Have a drink. Bartender? What do you have?
Well, I'll have a beer if it's all the same to you, sir.
Down the hatch.
Yes.
A fine piece of merchandise.
Here, lady. Let me give you a hand.
Oh, well, thank you, lady. There.
I can't swim.
Well, now, this is going to be real interesting, ain't it? I got a funny feeling like you standing down here waiting for me to fall down through that hole in the floor.
No.
I'm getting a stranger feeling that I ain't the only member of my family that's been down through that hole tonight.
No. Oh, no.
You seen a man with gray hair and dark eyes and a deep voice?
I can't remember.
You better start remembering, Buster, because I'm a cowboy. I ain't no sailor. And I like dry land. There's one way I can get it that I can think of, and that's holding you under till you drink all the water in this bay. You starting to remember? Yeah, that's real good. You just took the first step to establish the basis of a friendship between me and you. Now, where's my paw?
We'd better hurry. They'll be back in a minute.
Kathleen, I'll never forget you for this.
Oh, I believe that. You're a friend of mine.
Remember, you promised to help me find my men.
Oh, you're fine.
Kathleen, what is this? Explain to them.
Well, Cartwright Joe, let's get down to business.
But you work for Mr. Pendleton.
I work where I make a buck.
Look sound to wind and limb.
You know me. High-class merchandise. Don't do that, Mr. Cartwright. You're worth less if you're all battered up.
Double-crossing witch. Well, quick, Buck Katie, how much do you want for him?
$100.
100? I offered you 500.
And then turn me into the police afterward. Oh, I know the likes of your kind. $150. The price has gone up.
Oh, come now, quick, Buck. You know better than that. This is stolen merchandise.
This is carriage trade, and you know it.
Double-crossing rats, the lot of you. He won't be too easy to turn over. I'll have to buy him new clothes. The overhead has eaten me up, Katie.
All right. I'll make it half price. $75, and it's a deal. But only because I've got to get back to the store before I miss.
Quick, Buck, you're a thief, and you know it. But I do need the merchandise.
Oh, quiet, Mr. Cartwright. Quiet. You'll see your crew. That's what you want, ain't it? See you later, Cartwright. Have a pleasant trip, Mr. Cartwright.
All right, boys, let's see what we can do with it.
Lock the door. Come in this room, but quick but Kate. What you brought Cartwright is supper.
Oh, hello, sweetie.
Don't sweetie me, you little double-crosser. You sold Cartwright to cut rate.
But, darling, only because it was costing you money to keep him. All that good food. And especially if you couldn't sell him quick.
Now, don't do that.
I wouldn't cheat you, sweetheart, now would I?
I'm not so sure.
Little Katie wouldn't hold out on Shanghai Pete. Here you are. See?
$25. Is that all you got for him?
Captain Shark already turned him down, and Cartwright Joe's going to be stuck with him. No, you're not mad at little Katie now, are you?
Lucky for you, you caught me in a good mood. Besides, I've got another Cartwright. And is he a beauty? A live one, a real live one. All right, bring him in, boys.
I don't see my paw. Where is he?
Now, wait a minute, laddie. Wait a minute. Your dad isn't here.
Where's my paw?
Now, listen, Cartwright. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Where's my paw?
I'm sick. Relax. Now, what happened?
Mr. Hoss, he go in saloon. Long time no come out. Hobson go in saloon, no see Mr. Hoss. Something happened, Mr. Hoss, too.
What saloon? Forget it.
You take your dirty hands off of me or I'll blow your head off!
Hey, Joe, that ain't no way to treat a lady.
Well, you know, brother, I think you're right.
As I told you, I've seen this man before and turned him down.
Not at this price, Captain. Only $100. I'm letting him go to sacrifice because I'm after your future business. Besides, your ship sails at midnight.
Cut rate, Joe, you know my principles. I'm a fair man and a temperance man.
I'm not offering you a drink. I'm offering you a sailor.
I'm not a sailor. I do not approve of the practice of Shanghaiing.
Then what are you doing with two of my men?
I would not resort to it except I find myself so often short-handed.
Now, what kind of an excuse is that?
Sir, I have dedicated my life to stamping out the evils of drink. It is abominable. Any man who is so drunk that he doesn't know what's happening to him deserves to be shanghaied. This man is perfectly sober. I can't use him.
Well, thank you, Captain. I can't say I agree with all of your principles, but...
Take a smell, Captain.
The reek of demon rum is nauseating to me. This man is obviously drunk. I'll take him.
All right, boys.
All right, what's your part in this?
Honestly, I just happened to be walking by.
Well, you just better happen to start remembering a few more things.
Oh, now, laddie, you wouldn't be harming little me, would you?
That's such a beautiful arm. It'd be a shame to tear it off.
Oh.
Start talking.
I don't know what you want to know.
We want to know about a man named Ben Cartwright.
Oh, I don't know. I sold him.
You sold him? Where?
To Cartwright Joe's. Down the street in Embarcadero Alley.
You sold our Paul?
Yes.
How much you get for him?
Well, Hoss, for Pete's sake, who cares how much you got for him? Let's get down to this Cartwright Joe's before Pa and the boys are on their way to China.
Let me get my hat.
Hop Sing.
Little Joe, Mr. Horse, this cousin number 3. He see Mr. Ben. They take Mr. Ben away on ship. They find him Okay. You follow me. Come.
Don't fight it, Mr. Cartwright. Just ain't no use.
Johnny hadn't wanted to buy some silk for his wife, he wouldn't be in this mess.
Oh, we've been in worse messes. Back in the Ponderosa, and we've always been able to get out of them.
I know it. My heart just ain't in it.
Well, my heart is in it. And after what I've been through, the ship and 40 sailors is beginning to look pretty small. Captain! Captain! I demand to see your captain. Come on now, where's your captain?
I want to see you. Sailor, in the future, if you want to see me, you come to me. Don't send for me. It isn't done.
Oh, it isn't it? Will you listen to me?
Have you ever heard of mutiny?
Mutiny? Why, you're worse than a pirate. You and your high principles and your temperance, I'll see to it that your license is revoked on every sea in the face of this earth.
Just who do you think you are?
I'm Ben Cartwright of the Ponderosa.
The Ponderosa?
The Ponderosa.
I know it well, Captain. A four-masted schooner out of New Orleans.
The Ponderosa is a ranch.
A ranch? I always wanted a little chicken ranch. There's a place up in Santa Rosa.
Now, I'm an American citizen. I know my rights on board of every ship.
Take Mr. Ben on that ship.
I have enough men in those mountains to sink every ship in this harbor, and so help me, I'll do it.
That's our pa's voice. Music to my ears.
Just like a bugle call saying charge.
Let's go.
You keep a civil tongue. Showers were being boarded!
Paul, where you been hiding? Huh? Where you been hiding?
Hang on, old horse! All away, Humphrey! No, son. No, son.
Oh, I thought I told you to stay out of trouble.
Well, it took you fellas long enough to find me. Here, son.
Thanks, Bob.
Horse?
I'd darn sight rather eat it, Paul.
I know.
Paul, how much that little red-headed gal get for you?
I wouldn't tell him, Pa. If she did get enough, we might want to sell you back. If she didn't get enough, you wouldn't want to admit it, would you?
Very funny. Come in.
Hi. Here are your clothes, Mr. Cartwright.
Oh, how'd you get them?
We had a little business left to finish with Cut Rate Joe.
Yes, I see that.
You know what that little weasel was doing? He's going back into business. Second-hand clothes.
He was trying to sell our outfits.
Come in.
Mr. Johnny, have surprise for you. Number 7 cousin in silk business. Make you present. 1 bolt fine China silk for your wife.
Oh, gee, I sure would like to have me a courting shade made out of that.
I wouldn't do it, Ham. Silk can get a man in a whole lot of trouble.
Well, at least we're all together again.
Oh, yes, and thanks a lot, boss, for everything.
And tomorrow morning, bright and early, we're going to start out on a little vacation. How about it?
Oh, Pa, I'd just as soon we went back to the Ponderosa.
Well, you're the one who was yelling about getting a vacation.
I know, but a vacation's time for a change, isn't it?
Yeah?
Oh, I think I got my change.
Us?
Well, Paul, if it's all the same to you, there's a little den of wildcats on the Ponderosa I think I'd rather tangle with than any more of these city folks.
You mean you want to go back to work?
Well, I reckon I do, Paul, and that way we could let old Adam have a vacation.
Well, all right, then. Tomorrow morning, bright and early, we'll head back to the Ponderosa.
Hopsing have 1 more big surprise. Number 9 cousin is cook in hotel dining room. Hopsing help fix special fine supper. Oyster, champagne, steak.
Hey, what are we waiting for? Let's get cleaned up. We'll get down to the dining room. Come on.
Oh, no, you stay right here. Hopsing bring up. You no leave a hotel room. You go Barbary coast. Very dangerous. Hit, slice, kick, push, Shanghai.
You know, I think he's got something there at that.
Hey, Paul. Sure enough, how much did that little gal get for you?
You'll never know.